Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the first game of this series. Okay, I don't need this actually anymore because it's done. So I'm just gonna hide it. Okay, back to the game. So, okay, I have one more thing to fix. Okay, now it should be all set. Yes, nice, very nice. Okay, back to the game. Is this all set up? This is Urbot. Then everything seems to be in a perfect order and we can proceed. So, in the left-hand corner of the map, we have Team EVS. And for them, there is going to be Mr. Urbot playing as Thor in the pocket. On the top flank, it's going to be Mr. Ironhide, supposedly drunk, playing as Quetzalcoatl. And on the all the way to the left, on the other flank, we are going to be seeing their Super Saiyajin playing as Hades. On the side of the DoD team, we are going to be seeing the Frenchie, the famous Apoy as Odin in the pocket. On the left flank, we are going to be seeing the famous Spaniard, Mr. Bachi, playing as Hades, making his debut in this Clan War tournament, I believe. And on the far... This is left. I guess we can see right. On the far right side, we see the DoD captain, Mr. Narcotic, playing as Oranos. Narcotic already with the temple up. I believe same is for the someone else. I have seen it somewhere. I believe probably their Super Saiyan. This is a Waltz of Erebus build. Waltz of Erebus was nerfed, so I'm not sure how effective it is to rush for it. Probably is good still. But the last patch did buff the villager gather rate on the favor, and then the Waltz Verbus was nerfed, so you kind of get it a bit faster if you plan your things right, and you don't have to rush the thingy right off the start. But it is good nevertheless. For the map, I did say I don't really like this map. This is a very, very weird map in my opinion. It's extremely hard to scout because... in this game of Age of Mythology, when you try and scout, so basically what you see as the game starts, you see this. So if you're a player here, you want to scout, right? And then you take your scout, where is the scout? And you shift click, right? So you don't really know where are the cliffs. And when the scout gets stuck in the cliff, he kind of stops for like a few seconds before he moves. So it's extremely hard to actually scout the map properly, but that's one of the problems I have with this map. The other problem is that it's kind of like easily walled, and it does give for pretty boomy games, which I'm not a big fan of, but some players and viewers do like them, so I don't really mind. As you can see, there is plenty of resources in the back, and they are really easily secured. Like, for example, if Apoy decides to go for a TC and then he wants to secure things, he can just put his walls here and then put his wall here, and the only way to enter his base is through here, basically, which is his main base. And then of course Narcotic can do the same, so one wall here and then one wall here, and he can secure basically half of the map. But we do see Mr. Apoy going with the aggressive temple. Love to see it. That's something I would expect for the Frenchie, the Apoy, and he's going with the Heimdall. As I stated earlier, Heimdall is his god of choice when it comes to Odin nowadays. It makes perfect sense. Narcotic grabbing a relic, really good relic by the way. 0.5 gold trickle is always good to have. This is not a bad relic. I wonder how many pop. So Urbot is 19 pop, and he clicked through for SETI, so 19, and he's gonna take like probably 5-minute age up time, so it's not the worst. How many upgrades does he have? He has 2 upgrades, so it's not the worst. I guess the change did not hit Thor as hard as some people assumed it will. Will Norse buffs help Apoy? Yes, definitely, they will help him 100%. Norse does look, on paper at least, kind of decent right now. Apoy already putting on some pressure onto Ironhide, trying to disrupt the possible early aggression that could come Narcotics way. And there's already 2 warrior priests, and they're gonna be fighting in the... Okay, Apoy is classical and Ironhide is classical as well. So it's kind of an equal fight, I believe. Warrior Priest is kind of equal to one Herser, but there is two Murmillos coming in from Narcotic, and Warrior Priests are gonna have to retreat. There is a Zom on the place. There is a Undermine here, but Undermine fails to snipe this Sentinel. It is gonna destroy this one at least. That's a bit of a dub for a point, or not. Okay, it doesn't destroy Sentinels, that's weird. The pressure on the Ironhide is gonna continue. DoD must have heard Ironhide is drunk. They're trying to exploit his drunkenness here. Shockwave coming in onto the spot. Carnivora is casted as well, and Ironhide has to retreat his villagers back to the town center. He needs some help from his teammates. Possible if Urbot would send some units his way. He did cast a healing spring here to help him a bit, but Narcotic and the Poi are relentlessly pushing onto this position, locking Ironhide off of Goldmine for a bit. Ironhide does try to sneak this Goldmine here, and he is gonna succeed at doing so. Apoy and Narcotic do not really care about that Goldmine. They just wanna destroy the infrastructure that Ironhide has placed here. He is still going mostly into Warrior Priest. There is a Tequila Archer. She's gonna help here because this army is majority of the army is infantry, so Tequila Archer should be really good answer to that. There is an Einherry now on the spot as well, and he is gonna be a great help. Urbot did come in as well, so that's gonna help Ironhide a bit, but these Murmillos should decimate the Hersers on the front line. Great micro by Narcotic, saving all these Caladrias. Really great micro from him, and DoD decides to ease off the pressure. On the other side, we do see kind of a chill game. It's a Hades mirror, so 2 TC kind of mandatory for those two. Bachi and DSS are gonna enjoy their life. Bachi is trying to put some pressure onto DSS with Achilles. He probably can snipe a villager if DSS is not paying attention, which does seem to be the case, but DSS pulls them on time and all the villagers are gonna be safe. More pressure onto Ironhide from Apoy. Apoy trying to be everywhere on the map, and seems like it's working out for him. He's putting immense pressure onto Ironhide, who is currently struggling for gold. If we can check his resources, we can see he has only 19 gold. He has 5 units in queue. I'm sure most of you heard what Boyd says when he sees numbers in the queue. If you have more than 1 in the queue, you should always make more production buildings. But I guess Ironhide is struggling for resources at the moment and cannot really build any production buildings. Great trade by Apoy on this position too. He's really doing a great job with handful of berserkers here. He's killed like 5 villagers, 3 villagers, 4, I don't know, and idled plenty more. Great job by him. There is an attempt at wooden wall, but Narcotic does spot it. He tries to prevent it. Ironhide pulled back on time. He does need to stabilize a bit. He's not yet stabilized. He needs more production buildings. He needs to establish his military infrastructure so he can actually sustain a fight here, constant fight that has been happening since the game started. We do see Bachi joining into the pressure as well, but this Achilles is not going to do much. There are a couple of Ocelot warriors and they are going to chase this one away. Now we can check what the guys are doing. So there is a sky passage, all the villagers very safe. No walls on this position, even though I would love to see some. Apoy did a great job in walling this position though. He's secured this side of the map. I would love Apoy to put some walls here as well, maybe even double walls, so-called chemo walls, and enjoy his life. Urbot is also doing a great job in walling. As you can see, he's putting those bad boys up everywhere. But she's still searching for something. He does have his hero here, but nothing much is happening there. So seems like things kinda cooling off a bit. The game started with incredible pressure onto Ironhide. Ironhide did manage to stabilize here a bit. He's making another tempo. He can also start walling things. One wall here, probably one here if he cannot really leave his base. There is a wall here that cannot be made in a gate. That's not the best, but it's a wall, so I will take it. Urbot securing this position as well. There is a Carnivora here onto this position. Oracle, sneaky Oracle from Narcotic, spotting the TC coming up for Ironhide. But building the TC with 11 villagers, I don't think this Carnivora will do much. Probably what... Oh my god, the Bachi with the nasty Underworld on this position. There is Tailwind casted on these villagers. They are going to be able to escape. And TC is going to get denied though, so... I guess it's kind of worth it. I guess it's kind of worth it. Yeah, I would say it's worth it. Maybe Bachi did make a hasty decision with this Underworld, but I don't even think the second TC from Ironhide would give him much. There is more pressure onto this side from Narcotic coming up with his Murmillos. He's going to be able to snipe quite a few more villagers. One falls. Second one falls when he goes out of the tower. Oh my god, the Ironhide is currently having big troubles onto the position. Narcotic is all over him, trying to snipe the villagers left and right, but he has to retreat right now because those archers are gonna do great versus him. Now we see a bit of a push onto Bachi by their Super Saiyan. Their Super Saiyan is gonna try and make a fortress in Bachi's face, but Bachi has a counter fortress coming up of his own. Apoy is on the spot as well, and seems like Apoy is gonna be preventing these shenanigans from starting. Double restoration from both teams coming in. That's not gonna change much though. Naked Hippias, not the best. We see a couple of Peltas coming in as well. But there is literally nothing to deal with these Berserkers. Their Super Saiyan is gonna be able to snap a couple of villagers from Bachi, but Bachi's fortress should come up. And their super has to pack his things and move out of here. More Hippicons coming in. Achilles coming in as well. Villagers are falling though. Their Super Saiyan lost all 5 villagers that he tried to send onto this position. Very good game by Apoy so far. He's doing absolutely everything. Helping left, helping right. He's doing a great job. He's even putting walls on walls here. That's something you should do. Like if you have a chance, it's always good to put walls on walls. We do see Narcotic with the pressure still going on the Ironhide. Ironhide struggling to stabilize once again. He's having a really rough time. Denied TC, constant pressure. Villagers not really able to gather the resources in peace here, and there was an unfortunate hole here in his base, so Narcotic did manage to sneak through. These Murmillos are going crazy. 5 speed versus 4.5. Ironhide once again going for this TC. I don't think this is what he needs right now. What he needs right now is to stabilize and wall his base, try to secure his position, and then go from there. Maybe he feels like he's immensely behind. He does have 33 villagers, while Narcotic does have double the villager count of him. So that's gonna be really tough for him to deal with. Seems like all the players have double his villager count. There is more fight happening on this position. Bachi is trying to push onto their Super Saiyan. Their Super Saiyan switching into Peltas and Toxotis for the time being. More Berserkers from Apoy running into the scene. But Urbot is in this time around, and he does have access to Skadi at the moment. I don't really think there's anything that Skadi can counter, so Urbot can use it as he feels. There is a Skadi from Apoy as well, so double Frost is on the table. Each team has access to one. This fight seems like it's going EVS's way. I feel like their Super Saiyan did switch into Hypaspist a bit, so they are doing great job versus these. And there is plenty of throwing X-Men with the Skadi upgrade, I assume. Yes, and these are gonna do great here. We do see an offensive heal fort from Urbot. He's trying to snipe Petrobolos as well. Zom has been casted on the forward position for Mr. Bachi, but he is gonna lose all the Petrobolos regardless. Apoy is gonna try and establish his own position here. Heal fort coming up, long house. But Urbot did spot this, and he's going to be trying to prevent this. There is a Frost here from Urbot. I'm not sure what he gonna do with the Frost. They kind of need some siege in order to be able to break through this position more easily. Maybe the siege is on the way. No, mass berserkers for Urbot all the way. Urbot is very big indeed. He seems like he had enough time to do a bunch of stuff, but Narcotic is trying to disrupt his economy. A couple of heavy Contarios trying to raid onto the gold mine. Ironhide not really able to follow up, and these villagers are gonna have a really hard time. There is a wall. They're gonna be able to escape. One villager might fall, but the rest should be alright. Now where the... Oh my god, this is a great chaos from Narcotic onto the backline of throwing X-Men. Toxotis are gonna be able to pick most of them up. There is a Ram as well, but he has to retreat, and it seems like DoD has managed to fend off the initial attack from the EVS. There is a Starfall though onto this position. Ironheart trying to push onto Narcotic, and he is gonna be able to push here. This God Power is gonna give him 2 free Tsitsa Needles as well, and it seems like most of Narcotic's army is in the back, kinda trying to raid, I would assume. Oh my god, a boy with the disgusting back build here. Buildings are coming up as we speak, and Urbot is gonna have to pull back a bit to deal with this. Apoy once again with a great play. This position has been denied though, but seems like Narcotic has managed to consolidate in his main base, gather enough army, and push Ironhide back. Marmilos plus Contarius seems to be doing a great job. Thanks for the raid, boy. Appreciate it, man. Welcome everyone. We are currently casting the first game of the series between DoD and EVS in the playoffs to the Mythic Clan League. That's a clan war tournament hosted by DoD. And we are having a banger game here, I'm not gonna lie. This seems like a really good game. There is a plenty of action going on everywhere. Seems like EVS has lost this position actually, and DoD is gonna be taking this one for themselves. One more hill fort for Apoy coming up. This back build is actually killing EVS right now. They had to pull all the army back so they could deal with this shenanigans here from Apoy. Which berserkers are winning here? Hard to tell. It seems like Urbot is gonna win by the sheer numbers, but the fight did look kind of close for quite some time here. Couple of ramps are in, and seems like Apoy's shenanigans are being dealt with, but the problem has arisen in the main base of their Super Saiyan because he is being pushed by Bachi and Apoy together, and Urbot currently is being pressured by Narcotic into this middle TC. Narcotic is gonna be killing a lot of villagers once again on the same position. Something is happening here as well. Apoy is relentless with the raids, and pushing in the main base is gonna be extremely hard to stop for EVS right now. What? I guess the initial frost from Urbot was kinda hasty. He could have held onto the frost for these kind of situations. Maybe possibly even to cast the frost once the chaos is casted, so he can save as many units as he can. There is a heal fort coming up into the main base of their Super Saiyan, and the main town center is down. I repeat, it's down. Their super has to vacate this position completely. All the villagers running, but Narcotic is in the back to say welcome, villagers. He is gonna be pressuring onto this position, and it seems like DoD is in a driving seat and in a great position overall. The main town center of their Super Saiyan is gonna go into the hands of Apoy. There is a frost onto this position, so seems like Narcotic is gonna be able to save his forward TC as well. Couple of towers are coming in onto the spot. Beautiful walls from Narcotic. He's trying to secure this position as well, and seems like EVS is crumbling on every front. Things are looking really grim. There is another chaos, I'm assuming, onto this position, and Ironhide's army is gonna get well, not cleaned completely. There are these Eagle Warriors, they are nasty, but they also did receive a nerf in the last patch. So it's not gonna be as oppressive as it was before, but he's not gonna be able to deal with all this narcotic army with only Eagle Warriors. On this position, Orbot is giving his best to hold, but they're super Saiyajin, Coles quits, and his team will follow shortly. GG, well played. Orbot not giving up. Great, scoot and shoot from Orbot though, but he has to tap out, and DoD 8 takes game 1. GG, well played. I guess we can check. I'm kind of curious to see the graph here. So I'm gonna switch to the teams and then take a look. So this is a military graph, so it seems like EVS was in front. DoD did choose one bad fight, they lost this here. This is when their Super Saiyan tried to put the forward fortress in the face of Bachi, but then DoD did recover, and then the great fight happened, which kind of lost the game for EVS. Resource wise, it was a pretty close game, but DoD did take over once all the eco damage came in, and you'll see that after some time the things just spiraled out of the control for the EVS. Okay, so let's see if everything is correct on this side. We have those two. Okay, this needs to be flipped. And then it is good. Nice. Let's go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, respected members of Age of Mythology community, this is the second game of the series. EVS coming off of a tough loss in a game 1, trying to get their name on the scoreboard. In the bottom side of the map we have their Super Saiyajin playing as the Pocket Odin. On the top side we have Mr. Ironhide playing as Musky or Loki. And on the bottom flank we have Urbot playing as Gaia. On the top side we have DoD A team, Narcotic, their captain, playing as Oranos in the pocket. On the bottom flank, bottom side, however you like, we have Mr. Dartnox playing as Gaia. And on the top side we have Grand Monster, who is making his debut in this tournament, playing as Zeus. I believe this is his debut. I'm not quite sure yet, but I do believe that is the case. The big change, as you all can see from the 1v1 Mirage, is that Mirage kind of spawns as Anatolia, but the water patches are on behind bases actually, instead of on the side. So this does provide 15 fishing spots for each player to enjoy without being pressured. That means the food economy is gonna go crazy. And then that also means that players are kind of gonna have to pay special attention to their macro in order to be able to spend all the food. There is a possibility as well that you can use a market macro to kind of sell food until the rates plummet down. That is a good choice if you ask me. I do believe early rates for the market are quite good, and you should abuse them, especially on the water map. Now, as I said earlier, I don't like 2 TCs on this map. You kinda have to secure a second gold mine. That could be a really problematic thing to do if you do decide to go extremely greedy. When I say extremely greedy, I think second TC kinda naked. That's not the best thing. And I don't believe any of the players will do such a thing. Especially if they watched the series yesterday, as I mentioned. They 100% won't do anything similar. But I guess we have to wait and see. Now the one more thing I want to state, playing on the Mirage in a team game, is that you want to have kind of like 2 dogs instead of 1 dog that you would normally do on a Mirage if you're playing 1 versus 1. In team game you kind of want to have 2 dogs, because your fishing ships from this position are going to be traveling incredibly long to deposit the food. So it's kind of better to have 2 of them. It also kind of helps with the fishing ship production. We did see Spy being cast in the main base of Grand Monster. The temple is gonna be seen, and EVS is gonna have an idea that Grand Monster is gonna go for some sort of an earlier advance time. Now he's not yet there, but he is gonna be shortly, and I'm assuming it's gonna be a Tina for him. Now all the other players, oh actually it seems Narcotic also made a TC, so he is looking for that advance as well. He is actually converting the Oracle, trying to get some relic, I'm assuming. Yes, this is the relic of choice, and it's gonna be Catapultis, more damage to cavalry units. Which is nice, but I don't believe that we are gonna see a lot of cav here. Dartnox also made his temple, nice and early. We do see Oceanus coming in for Narcotic, Oceanus for Dartnox, Oceanus for Urbot. All the Atlantean players love their Oceanus. Kinda makes sense, Oceanus is a great choice, but I'm kinda tired of seeing the Oceanus constantly. Okay. Odin going Freya. Oh, we are actually gonna be seeing cavalry units here. They're super sizing, going with Freya. And this relic that Narcotic has picked is just gonna be even more valuable now. What do we see from Loki? Forseti just in. So Ironhide is gonna be taking his sweet time here. Hopefully he's not gonna get attacked. If he does get attacked, it could be trouble for him. There is a Zeus across him, so Zeus early pressure is kind of notoriously known for being really extremely annoying to deal with, but Grand Monster is not really sending any heroes. As I can see for now, there is a John Tomas running towards Ironhood's base. Actually, I'm thinking he's gonna pick the relic, yeah. This is also great. A relic, Pygmalion statue, gives more hit points to villagers, always nice to have. Scout is actually in, but Grand Monster is just checking how things are going. We don't see actually any military buildings. There is a longhouse for the Super Saiyan. Okay, there is a double military barracks from Urbot, classic Atlantean style. On this position though, I do know that Dartnox has an interesting idea going into Mirage. He did use it quite a few times in 1 vs 1. So he basically goes fast heroic so he can get Stibalium birds and harass the backline, the fishing ships. And then the players, the enemy team has to invest in water in order to be able to deal with those Stibalium birds. But this time around he's gonna be opening military barracks. He also did a great job building 2 docks to shorten the traveling time. That's something I love to see. Grand Monster did the same, also very nice. He actually go 3 docks, which is also kind of good. Narcotic on the other hand didn't go for, oh he actually did, okay. So all the players know the tricks, nice. We do see a couple of Catapultis coming in to put some pressure onto their Super Saiyan. The Super Saiyan has some units out, he's not gonna struggle a lot. These Catapultis do not have an incredibly big base damage, so they are not gonna do a lot of damage to units other than cavalry, which is okay. We do see Valkyrie coming in as well, no heroes for Narcotic, and he is gonna have to retreat from this position. Something is happening here. Berserker did kill Scout, I'm assuming. There is actually no pressure on Ironhide, which is kind of weird. We do see Grand Monster has gathered decent army, but Ironhide also has quite a few units, so he's not gonna be too scared of that. He's also building his buildings quite nicely, securing his front side of the base. Okay, we do see a forest fire, I'm assuming it's here. Forest fire has been casted, but not much value from that one. Unfortunately, maybe 1 barrack is gonna go down, but that's acceptable loss. Urbot is trying to put some pressure on Dartnox. Dartnox doesn't really care about that, he's just happily gathering his resources. He's not really producing any military, as he has age up through Thea. He's gonna have access to Dryads, Tibalian Birds. As I said, that's one of the strats he likes to use, and he has used it once again. So now that Tibalian Bird is gonna go into the backline and pressure a bit on the fishing ships. On this position, we do see Narcotic putting a great pressure onto their Super Saiyan. He's trying to clean his forward buildings. He also forced his army to retreat. And their Super Saiyan, with the army that he has right now, cannot really contest units that Narcotic has out. The Super Saiyan choosing a choke point to fight in. That's not the bad decision. It seems like, though, he does have military advantage. Narcotic, for some reason, didn't really make many Murmillos, so he's gonna have trouble dealing with anything that is not cavalry. That could hurt him in the long run, I feel like. He's trying to snipe the throwing X-Men with the Therma, which is a good move, but these newly buffed raiding cavalry are going to be able to deal with Therma quite good, and Narcotic is forced to retreat. Couple of Caladiers coming in from Urbot to help heal their Super Saiyan units. Love to see it. Great teamwork by EVS. Murmillos are also coming in to help, and Narcotic has been sent packing. The problem that arises with Dark Nox choosing to go for the semi-fast heroic is that he kinda left Narcotic hanging here. So Narcotic is currently facing two players. He's been pushed all the way back to his main base. He kinda needs help, but because of the semi-fast heroic, Dark Nox didn't really make many units. He's trying to go into Contarius right now, but he only has 2 military barracks, so it's gonna take quite some time. I would love to see him place at least few more, so he is able to actually produce more Contarius faster. Those Contarius did get buffed also. I would call it a buff. They are kind of more expensive, but they are stronger if I'm not mistaken. 6.3 speed, that's a speedy unit. On this position we do see Ironhide skirmishing with Grand Monster a bit, but seems like either one of them didn't get any significant value or advantage from that. Grand Monster, seeing that, decides to take a TC forward one at that, which can be dangerous, but he does have plenty of units to actually defend it. Good raid from their Super Saiyan. He's gonna kill 2 villagers and he has to pull back now. No, he's gonna lose the units. This is not a good trade. So, for example, if you kill 2 villagers and lose 3-4 units for it, it's not a good trade. You don't really want to lose your units like that, because even though economically speaking, Grand Monster doesn't want to lose villagers, right? But your units are kind of valuable, especially in this state of the game. Ironhide did age up through Bragi. He's gonna have that flaming weapons on the table. He's gonna be trying to force a fight here on this second town center of Grand Monster. Grand Monster, even though has a significant army here, he is not gonna be able to hold flaming weapon push, and he is currently being doubled, although Narcotic is responding quite well and he's sending his units in to help. This is a bit of a disaster, I would say, for EVS. So, maybe not. Actually, maybe not. Ironhide can use his flaming weapon to run into the main base of Grand Monster and try to deal as much damage as he can there, because this frost kinda fucked him up, in a sense that he cannot really do any damage to these frozen units. Maybe he can use some walls. Yes, this could be, but flaming weapons ends as soon as the frost ends, so he's not gonna get much value from that one, unfortunately for him. No walls as well. EVS are trying to get as much value from these flaming weapons as possible, trying to chase Narcotics units, but now the frost is over and Grand Monster is gonna be able to rejoin the fight. Shockwave coming in onto this position, scattering the backline of their Super Saiyan. There is a wall here as well, so it seems like EVS's army is kind of trapped here, but this is a great choke point to fight in, especially with Grand Monster not really microing his archers onto the backline of the Trolling X-Men. Couple of Jarls are coming in as well, but these hoplites should be more than enough to deal with those. Great special from Troll here. No heroes from Grand Monster. He's trying to kill this Troll with his units. Manticore is in, and she is gonna be a great answer to the Troll. Is Troll gonna get another special off? No. And seems like DoD has cleaned all of the EVS's units on this position. This was a bit of a blunder in my opinion from EVS. Either they didn't know about this wall or they chose to go there. But regardless, I don't think you should go in a tight space like this, especially in a team game when many things can change in a matter of seconds. Great special by Trolls. Ironhide trying to get as much as he can out of these Trolls, but he is gonna end up dying. And now it's time for the counteroffensive on the DoD side. The question is are they gonna do it actually? The military count seems kind of equal, I think, and there is a big fight in this position. Seems like Dartnox has been pushed back. There is double behemoths from Urbot. Urbot is going to be doing great here. Contarius not the greatest of answers to these Murmillos, and Arcuses, even though are a good unit, they are not going to do much in these small numbers. There is also plenty of Thermas for Urbot to deal with these Arcuses, which is a great choice of unit for Urbot. Urbot pushing hard into Dartnox's base. He's fighting under a TC, which is never great choice, but he seems like he's doing okay for the time being. There is a great fight on this position though. Healing Spring is out. Plenty of Frost Giants for Mr. Their Super Saiyajin. There is a heal fort on this position as well. Great move by these RC trying to circle around onto Toxotis. Kinda distracting a majority of the army here, and great surround from their Super Saiyajin. He's gonna be able to do great damage here, but great response from Grand Monster as well. He's able to put all these hoplites onto the raiding cav, and raiding cav has melted. But regardless of that, EVS has pushed back, and now the tide changes. Now the EVS is gonna be trying to put some pressure onto the DoD. Once again, it does seem like DoD is struggling to repop. They are behind 100 military units. Dartnox's base has fallen down. And it seems like Urbot is doing a great job on his own here on this side. Dartnox is really in pain right now. He's losing villagers left and right, trying to stabilize, but he needs some help from his teammates. But the problem is, if Narcotic leaves this position... Okay, there is a chaos from Narcotic trying to help Dartnox stabilize a bit in this position, but Dartnox... Okay, Dartnox actually is able to push a bit back. There is a Carnivora of Urbot eating one Contarius, great damage. I don't know, it seems like Dartnox really need help, but then if Narcotic leaves this position, it's gonna be GG from Grand Monster. So this is not the best position for DoD at the moment. Urbot is playing flawless game so far. He is also taking a second TC behind all this. His economy should be incredibly good. But it does seem like Dartnox has managed to accumulate decent force here, trying to push, but great micro by Urbot, putting those Murmillos as a meat shield for Termat to pull back. And now he's gonna be fighting a couple of Arcuses here, but I'm not sure why Dartnox spamming Contarius into Murmillos. These are not gonna trade good. There is absolutely no chance they are gonna trade good into upgraded heavy Murmillos with the Orichalco Mail. Nevertheless, he did manage to push Urbot a bit back, but Urbot has his town center behind this. His Q is absolutely gigantic. He is on the full pop, and he is not gonna mind this bit of a setback, so-called setback. Narcotics archers are gonna get absolutely obliterated onto this position. Great catch by EVS. Narcotic kind of blunder in his position. No fortress for Grand Monster so far on this position. Fortress would be a great addition. The fight has come down to this gold mine. If Grand Monster loses the gold... There is a gold mine here, yes, but Ironhide with a great move. He's trying to secure that gold mine. And if Grand Monster loses this gold mine, things can get really, really rough for him. There's Super Saiyajin with plenty of Frost Giants. This TC is gonna get taken by their Super. All the Arcuses are gonna be falling down due to this raiding cavalry. They seem incredibly good actually and useful. They have the Vikings. No, there is no Njord for their Super, so they do not have the newly buffed Vikings tech. Great choke point for Narcotic here. He is going to be trying to kill as much as he can, scooting and shooting back, but there is a Frost Giant onto this position. That's going to be a tough cookie to crack for Narcotic, and their Super Saiyan did decide to pull back. TC has gone up for him as well. He is currently on 2 TCs for Ironhead as well. He's taking the front one of Grand Monster. Narcotic is actually doing a great job trying to split his army, helping the Grand Monster, defending his base, but once again, Dartnox has been pushed onto this position. Dartnox is out of gold, I believe, ladies and gentlemen, and Narcotic decides to call it GG. Well played. Absolutely great game from EVS, I have to say, especially Urbot, who did manage to overpower and Gaia Expert on this position in a sort of a 1v1 situation. Great teamwork as well from EVS. GG, well played both teams, 1-1. Alrighty, we are in. By the way, Automaton, I believe this is one of the few times I actually agree with you on Atlanteans. I would put Gaia in A tier, kind of like mid to low A tier, but yeah. Alright, so we have ourselves third game of the series between DoD and EVS, and the first two went to each clan, so it's 1-1 currently. And for the third series, DoD picked Savannah as their map, and it's gonna be in the left hand side of the map. Mr. Apple is gonna be playing his Isis in the pocket. On the top side of the map, or the top flank, it's gonna be Mr. Bachi playing as Poseidon. And on the bottom flank, we are going to be seeing Mr. Apoy as Susano, famous abuser Apoy. On the right hand side of the map, in the bottom side, as the bottom flank, we are going to be seeing Ironhide playing his beloved Freyr. As the pocket player, there is going to be Urbot playing as Gaia, and in the top side, on the top flank, it's going to be their Super Saiyajin playing as newly buffed Odin. Now, let me just check if this is alright. This seems alright. This doesn't seem alright. I need to do a little flipperoonie before we proceed. Flipperoonie, and I think we are good to go. This chat to Pinky, LGBT streamer. Hello, player. You are one of the Pinky guys. I have to warn you. Player the Pinky. Nevertheless, back to the game. So, from what I can see here, I would assume it's gonna be classical fight, maybe some sort of a heroic timing, but I do expect to see a lot of classical fights. We have two incredibly good Cav gods on the side of DoD in Susano and Poseidon on the flanks. So my thought process would be Susano and Poseidon stay 1 TC, while Apple here, as the pocket Isis, has time to boom off of 2 TCs, then he can switch into Camels once heroic and play from there. On the other side, we do have Odin, who just had RC buff, so their super is 100% wanna go into Freya here, possibly Mass Valks with a lot of RCs. That would be incredibly good on this position. Probably Urbot is gonna try and mirror what Apple is gonna do and go for the second TC, but he can also spam some Murmillos and try to surprise Apple. I've played quite a few games with Apple and Apple consistently goes to TC fast heroic or fast mythic with the shifting sands shenanigans. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't really have shifting sands as Isis, but he can do quite a few other things. So I'm kind of curious to see what he's gonna choose. But the second TC I think is non-discussable for him. So there is an option for Urbot to spam a lot of Murmillos and try to punish him for that. Ironhide Frere probably gonna play a slower game. He will want to secure himself from Susano here on his side. So probably plenty of walls. Maybe, just maybe. No, he's not gonna go Freya. He's gonna go Uller, and he's gonna live a happy life with his Asgardian Bastion. He does have a pretty good defensive gold mine, so he doesn't have to worry too much about that. But he kind of has to worry about securing the passages here. There is plenty of room to cover, and Apoy can really give him painful experience with cavalry units plus Kitsune. I believe Naginata Riders go up to 6.6 with 2 Kitsunes into the mix. We do see Hermes coming up for Bachi. I'm assuming Bachi is going to put some pressure onto Urbot, onto their Super Saiyajin here with some Atalanta and center good old Poseidon tactics. Atalanta just coming up. Bachi is a bit late. Probably went for a pickaxe approach here. No, but he is late indeed. He did pick a relic here, and this relic is going to give him 10% more villager speed, which is always nice. Villager going into the unknown here. Bachi with a bold move. He decides against it and he pulls that one back. There is an oracle here who's gonna die from Urbot. A bit of a bold move from Urbot. Apoy did scout it and kill it, and he's gonna be making plenty of Kitsunes here with the upgrade. Couple of Naginata Riders about to come through, and these bad girls are gonna be incredibly annoying for the Ironhide to deal with. Ironhide though did prepare himself to a degree. He needs a wall here, yes. Bachi decides to swing onto this position and try to pressure Ironhide instead of putting pressure onto their Super Saiyajin. But Ironhide is kind of ready. It's not going to be easy to pressure him. He is building his base in this position as well, so he's going to wall this and secure this angle too. One wall here is already down, so he's not gonna have to worry too much about things. There is a possibility Bachi is gonna lose this center. That's never good. Will a move fixed? Yes, that is a story that we have been told by the devs, but it's yet to see. I didn't see any instances of villagers a moving into anything here, so I can't really tell. Urbot with couple of these are called catapultis, and they are actually incredibly good. Weightless mace is in. These are going to be a great answer to cavalry. It's actually Urbot not opting for an immediate second TC. Apple, however, did take his second TC. The question is, does EVS know about that? Yes, they do. So they kind of can calculate the next move based on the fact that Apple has taken a TC, and he is gonna need quite some time to actually make a decent force. He should be incredibly close to heroic though, which is the case. He only lacks few hundred resources and he's gonna be aging up. On this side though, there's Super Saiyajin with the mass RC trying to put some pressure on the base of Bachi. Bachi does not really have plenty of units. He does have actually couple of hippicons. I do believe in this scenario 0 upgrades versus medium that Bachi actually wins this engagement kind of hard. So their super doesn't really want to fight that. Bachi doesn't have spirit to charge, so he's not going to be able to catch up to these RCs. Great catch by the Super Saiyajin. One villager is not going to go down. A lack of attention here on Super Saiyajin's part. Well, Leto is kind of broken in a sense that it's really annoying to play against, but actually I'm not sure. I kind of hate playing into Leto, I have to say. That's one of the worst experiences. That's kind of on an equal level as Swampland. But Atlantean players kind of choose Oceanus over Leto because Oceanus just gives incredible amount of value, so it's not really it's not really a dilemma. They're kind of like autopiloting into Oceanos every single game. They're super trying to cause some idle time. Still naked RC, so not gonna do too much here. He's moving out onto the hunt behind his base. He does have everything walled on this position. The only wall that EVS lacks is this one, and DoD is gonna exploit that fact, and they're gonna charge straight onto their Super Saiyan villagers. This can end up tragically for him. Is someone gonna respond? Urbot is chasing with his army, but his army is kind of slow. He's trying to get there as fast as he can. There's Super Saiyan doing a reaction here. There is a forest fire that actually saves all the villagers. Great move by the Super Saiyan. He managed to say, I would say this is 100% worth, because he would lose so many villagers here, and now these are all safe. Apoy and Bachi are gonna try to keep on pressuring, but there is nothing much for them to find here. Everything is walled, secured. There's only one opening, and while this is happening, their super is in the base of Bachi. Not sure if Bachi lost any villagers, but he certainly did have some idle time. Perfect base building from Bachi, though he did secure every single opening. There is one tiny hole here, so that should be addressed by Bachi. Walls coming up from their Super Saiyan, love to see it, and DoD has been sent packing from this position. So the question is, what next? We do see Thought immediately pre-queued as soon as Apple aged up through Neftis. Neftis, I don't really know. I don't like Neftis, especially in team games. I kind of have an aversion towards Neftis because my units feel kind of lackluster. When I don't have any special upgrades, I love to go Sobek to have my Petsucos, my Camel upgrades and all that good stuff. These villagers are kind of stuck, and Apple is going to be losing 2 of them. But I don't think EVS punished Apple too much for going 2 TC fast Mythic here. It is going to be extremely tough for them to deal with the Valley of the Kings once that's in. Camel's already starting to come out for Apple here. Apoy is in to help Apple defend, and these RCs are gonna get cleaned. They do have, however, some upgrades, but Naginata Riders are much better, especially with Sashimono Bannerman upgrade, so it's not really gonna be a contest. Apoy also went into Heroic through Raijin, or better known as Memejin. He's gonna have that Smiting Gust, ability to blow away all the units that he does not want in that place. He will have to go into the second gold mine, and that is gonna be difficult. Ironhide trying to go for a raid here. If he catches those, it's gonna be a huge damage to Apoy's economy, and Apoy is for, oh my god, blunder. But Turbot is in the place, and he's gonna pick all the remaining villagers here. Great job by EVS. This is a great blow to Apoy's economy. He's gonna be bashing his head right here because of that. There is a bit of a push into the into the base of the Super Saiyan. Bachi with plenty of Hippicons, but there is a Golem Bursty, and Bachi has to run. But that means Golem Bursty is out of the way, and Bachi has to be happy with it, although Apoy is gonna be under heavy fire here. And if EVS managed to draw out Meteor defensively, that is a great win for them. Defensive Meteor is something you don't really want to see as an Eggy player. So if the opposing team does manage to force you to use it defensively, it can be quite good for them. But Behemoth is in the no heroes for Apoy for the time being. He's gonna get pushed hard here. Ancestors plus defensive Meteor, as I said, and EVS is just gonna split around. They have to be happy with the defensive Meteor, even though they are gonna lose some units. This is good for them, 100% good for them. There is a Tempest on this position from Ironhide. I think Ironhide kind of prematurely used Tempest. These are majorly cav units, so they are going to be able to move back from it. But now Urbot and Ironhide are going to be able to continue pressuring. There is double Behemoth plus Rock Giant onto this position, and this TC is gonna melt. There is an Swampland on this position, but that's not gonna do much, and Ceasefire has been casted, but Apoy lost his TC, unfortunately. Such an underwhelming Meteor. Suspect rate, but still got nerfed. Certainly not swear girl weapon wiring, man. The longer they stay, I want to see the harder Meteor gonna hit. That's still kind of true, but I really like the defensive Meteor, and as you saw, I think random meteors like fall down where the majority of buildings are and shit. So EVS splitting their army kind of managed to completely dodge the Meteor. Like, they lost 50 units at most. Bachi is joining the fight though, but there is so many catapults here, and Bachi has to retreat for the time being. And Apple here is also going into camels. I don't know what DoD is thinking here. They have Herdmen and Catapultis against them, but they're all going into Cav. Apoydog has some horse archers to help him, but I don't really understand this situation for them. They are stubbornly going into FPS, are dying slowly. They're stubbornly going into Cav, even though they're against fully anti-cavalry units. Bronze has been casted here. Their super has to retreat. You never want to fight Bronze. And with Tempest out of the way, there's nothing to stop Bachi's Bronze. But as I said, these are majorly anti-cav units, so Bronze should not do that good into them. Although these horse archers are gonna put a dent into Urbot's formation here, and they managed to clean all the catapults here. The problem though, as players stated earlier, is all of the EVS stayed 1 TC, so they are kind of behind on economy, and they did lose majority of their armies. They are gonna have a really tough time to hold the push that's coming their way from Bachi on this side, and Apple and Apoy on this side. Their Super Saiyajin's majority of army is here in this position. He is going to be wide open for the attack, and this could spell a GG for EVS, unfortunately. But let's wait and see how this game ends. I'm not sure why my FPS is bugging out. There is nothing much happening here. There is a frost here on the army of Bachi, but that frost is not gonna do much. Their Super Saiyajin needs some units to come in, and he needs them fast. Maybe even Urbot's backup, but Urbot is sending waves of units into the base of Apoy. Apoy currently not paying attention. There is 3 rock giants for Mr. Ironhide. If those rock giants had a taunt off and these Therma managed to come on to the horse archers, they are gonna be absolutely deleted. But nevertheless, EVS are continuing with their push, and even though the score shows big advantage for DoD for the time being, the military score says completely different story. 100 more military units for the EVS. Okay, this really doesn't seem good for the DoD. Apoy is left down on 14 villagers. He's constantly trying to spam horse archers, but he has only two buildings to do so, and these chariots are gonna get completely demolished by Thermas. The only chance that DoD has right now, it seems, is if Bachi does enough damage onto this position to their Super Saiyajin, but Bachi doesn't really have any siege to deal with all these weapons. We do see another Swampland, Kusanagi, snakes, everything DoD has is on this battlefield right here. EVS has to retreat a bit, but they are gonna happily return once these god powers were off. Apple did lose his TC, another smiting gust is on for Apoy, but that's just gonna delay the suffering for him. EVS is gonna relentlessly come back, probably clean all these buildings as they go. Apple still stubbornly going into only mid-goal units for the time being. And EVS has a great counter to those, it seems. Seems like their super did manage to stabilize a bit onto this position. He doesn't have many units, but actually the scenario has flipped. What? Now the DoD has a significant lead in the military units, and now they're gonna start a counter-offensive here. And even though Apoy is dead, it doesn't seem too bad for DoD now. This game is a bit of a forward, back and forth kind of game, and I absolutely love it. Urbot has been forced to send some units their super's way to try and help. There is a raiding party here. No? Apple has received... Apoy has received some resources from Apple to be able to rebuild a bit. He doesn't really have any houses left. He needs plenty of stuff to be able to join this game on an equal footing. But Bachi seems to be in a really good spot. No second TC still for either one of EVS players. Three TCs for Bachi. 2 TCs for Apple. He managed to recover his second TC here. He has a middle here. He has plenty of units. He's trying to secure this gold mine as well. Where is his Pharaoh? I want to see the Pharaoh. Pharaoh is empowering the base mid-goal unit, mid-goal fortress. And it seems like Ironhide is kind of forced to endure some 2v1 for the time being. Urbot has to come back and help their super deal with all this. But I think that's sort of a waste of time, to be honest, because Urbot is kind of like sitting here with all these units doing absolutely nothing while DoD is pressuring Ironhide in this position, and Bachi kind of menacingly staring just across on the main base of their Super Saiyan. Apple trying to poke a bit with chariots and camels, but he cannot really engage fully with this army. It seems like EVS is waiting for something. There is Atlas on the way. No, not enough resources though. If Urbot cancels some of these units, he can get Atlas, I feel like, and he definitely needs a TC, which he did take. I think the other EVS players also need TC, not really their Super Saiyan. He's kind of down on the pop badly. Now Urbot has been surrounded by Bachi and Apple together, and his army is gonna get completely deleted on the spot. No help from their super. He needs more time to actually recover and prepare for the defense. But it seems like Urbot is kinda okay-ish. He does have gigantic Q here. I would love to see some more military buildings for him, but it's not the end of the world. However, Bachi and Apple are breaking through the base of their Super Saiyan and are gonna start putting some real pressure onto the main TC with plenty of arms. If their super loses this, that's gonna be really, really rough for him. Yeah, I probably should lower the settings a bit. It's just case when I'm like casting and shit. When I'm playing, it doesn't go this low. But yeah. Big push from the DoD into the main base of their Super Saiyan, sorry. His whole economy is idle. Urbot is back with plenty of catapults here. But there are some chariot archers to help deal with those, as well as Hepaspist. And Urbot is spamming Thermas as well as catapults. It seems like he is able to deal with this army to a degree. But the question is, what is Ironhide doing? I think he needs to pressure, and he needs to do so now to at least force Apple to come back, maybe pressure into this position. There is plenty of farms here that could be really good for EVS. Apple is mainly focused on this fight here, so his focus is not on the home base. Alright. So, the fight continues. Bachi taking his 40C. I'm assuming he is like going fastest or something. He is aiming to go there. He kind of missed macro, but he is going to be able to do so shortly. Catapult is in. And it truly seems like DoD is in a driving seat right now. They kind of have victory within their grasp. They just need to lock in and secure it. Although EVS is 100% not going to give up. They are going to try and bring this one back. But I have to say, it seems like it's going to be extremely hard for them to do so. Big fight happening in the main base of their Super Saiyan. Bronze has been casted once again. There is plenty of Thermas, but those Thermas cannot really compete with camels here. And if Apple actually switches some camels over to Therma, they have to retreat, and he does so. Their Super Saiyan army is getting absolutely obliterated on the spot, and it seems like this is indeed GG. Super Saiyan calls it, and his rest of his team will follow shortly. Or not. Urbot is still trying to fight. Urbot giving his best to try and bring this game back home, but he is alone, and he decides to call it as well. GG, well played. DoD has taken the lead in this series 2-1. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are in, and judging by my said no guy on Haywire can trap people in the ring with the Forest GP. Well, yeah, kinda, but I think that's not the best strat to go for. Usually you want your Gayatris close by for a safe wood source and that kind of stuff, you know. But could be an angle as well, sure. I haven't thought about that really, but there is so many openings here and here and here. It's kind of hard to trap. Maybe if you go triple guy or something. I'm not sure that's actually possible in this tournament though. Okay, back to the game. This is the fourth game of the series, currently 2-1 for DoD. I need to do a little flipperoni here real fast. Flipperoni. Nice. We got the flips and we can proceed. So, in the right side of the map, we have EVS trying to level the series after a tough loss in the previous game. They're currently 2-1 behind, and as the top flank, it's gonna be Mr. Ironhide playing as Loki. In the pocket, it's gonna be Urbot as Tsukuyomi actually. And in the bottom side, we are going to be seeing their Super Saiyan playing as Hades. On the DoD side, these guys are going to be trying to lock in their victory in this game. And for them, it's going to be Bachi at the bottom flank as Loki. Pocket player is going to be Apoy playing as Susano. And on the top flank, it's going to be Dark Nox playing as Kronos. The thing that's actually very interesting about this map is the proximity of teams. So you're incredibly close to each other. As you can see, we basically can see both main bases just by standing in the middle here. So it's kind of like incredibly aggressive map. Of course, you can go for some sort of a sneaky boom on the outside. Outside ring of course has TCs and plenty of resources. But that could leave you vulnerable in your main base that the other team can exploit. So I would personally expect this to be kind of a 1 TC game. Judging from the god choices, I think players are gonna do the same. So Hades in particular, very good god on this map. He has sentinels. There is a possibility of semi-fast heroic for the fortress in the face of the opponent, and Petrobolo siege push, that kind of stuff that is incredibly hard to stop. Loki, of course, he wants to play aggro, he wants to make his units, Hersers, everything basically, just to try and put as much pressure as possible. And we have Loki on both teams actually. Kronos, of course, he's a known aggressor. I don't even need to tell you guys about that. We all know all about the Kronos aggression. There is a spy though on the foot villagers from Ironhide on Darknox. And outside of all this, I think Japanese gods are the least aggro focused, at least in first 6-7 minutes. You kind of need a bit more time for Japan to fire up and to start rolling. But once you start rolling, Japan becomes one of the best 1TC Civ in this game. That wasn't intentional, I swear. We are seeing Darknox aging up already through Leto actually, so I'm assuming he is gonna look for some Autobot spam. He's immediately sending those Autobots in the base of Susano Apoy, expecting some aggression to come his way. We do see instant new moon on the stables. Urbot wants to play it aggressive as possible, and he's sending all his units forward. This could be actually really dangerous for Darknox or Apoy, depending on who they decide to double. It looks like it's gonna be Darknox. Darknox, no reaction. He's gonna be losing one villager. He managed to save one, but they are garrisoned into the tower. He is gonna run through the main TC and go to the herdables here. Darknox is looking to go into the Autobots. He does have 5 oracles already out on the map, so he's gonna be enjoying that favor very much. On this side, we do see Bachi preparing his walls, trying to secure every position and make sure there is no gaps in his base. Although he does have a few gaps here and there, and he decides to leave out of his base with a couple of his Hersiers. Urbot is gonna spot that and he is gonna run though. There is a spy here. I love this spy usage from Bachi here. He has used spy on Kitsune, so he kind of knows where Urbot's army is at all times, which is incredibly important information. Now it seems like all the players are kind of gearing for some sort of a push. Urbot with a bit of a misplay. He is gonna lose Jurogumo. Oh my god, the Cyclops are coming in. They're super Saiyajin with the Cyclops. But plenty of Hersiers are in, and if they need something to deal, these Naginata Riders are gonna do kinda good into Hersiers, but they're not gonna be the best. There is an ability for Pestilence as well from their Super Saiyajin. Pestilence is casted though right now onto the main base of Bachi, but nothing to deal with Hersiers. There is few Toxotes coming in right now. Naginata Riders trying to hunt for the villagers. There is a Swampland from Mr. Apoy on this position, but good micro from Bachi going out of his TC to try and snipe those Cyclops, and Toxotes are being completely obliterated by Apoy's cavalry units. And it seems like this push has crumbled. Very good defense by Bachi and Apoy. They managed to push back EVS, even though this Cyclop push did look scary. Now, Darknox is also in on this position, even though I don't think that was necessary actually. Because okay, now I see why. So Ironhide is onto this position as well, so it's basically 3 versus 3 into the main base of Mr. Bachi. Swamplet has been casted here on this position by Urbot as well, and he's gonna be able to pick a couple of units and Jurogumo, but majority of units are gonna survive here. The question is, what does EVS do now? So they have few options, I guess. They can commit fully to the push, or they can try and sneak heroic to get a fortress up and then get some Petrobolos. I'm guessing their Super Saiyajin with the fortress would be their best bet, but that is a dangerous approach. The Super Saiyajin only has a couple of Toxotes and heroes. No Cyclops are left for him, so he is pretty open for any sort of attack. And he doesn't really have any walls himself, so his base is quite open. Hades does get ballistics in classical that came with the new patch that dropped today. But I think EVS kinda sped up their push. They should waited a bit longer or tried to like feint the push onto the Dartnox and then go fully onto the Bachi. Dartnox now has a really significant force of Autobots, and he's gonna be combining his units with the Poi to try and fight Ironhide and Urbot. Urbot majorly cav units, but Ironhide does have plenty of heroes to deal with those Autobots. Great special from Einherji. They are gonna be pushing in. Urbot is gonna deal with the cav of Apoy here. He also tried to snipe Cairo Ballistas. I believe he did manage to do so. Another Cairo Ballista coming in here. Urbot not paying attention. This Cairo Ballista could be big on these Hersers. Bachi is in with his units, and it seems like DoD has defended the push once again. That is really unfortunate. That their Super Saiyajin doesn't really have mobile army, so he cannot really follow as you would want him to. So the best course of action for the EVS was indeed to push Bachi's base because of how immobile army of Hades is, and now the Super Saiyajin is kind of losing most of his Toxotes. There's plenty of mid units though for EVS that are still standing. Maybe, just maybe, they can resume their push. Dartnox did lose majority of his Autobots here. These Cyclops are going to be great answer to Autobots as well. It doesn't seem like the push is falling off though. There is another Swampland from Mr. Apoy, but there is so many Einherjis from Ironkite. He's trying to make use of their special attack, and it seems like it's doing wonders for EVS here. The main TC of Dartnox is gonna go down. Dartnox doesn't have any heroes. Now he's trying to snipe these Cyclops with automatons, but they're actually doing 0 to no damage to them, and their Super Saiyajin is actually doing a great job targeting those automatons with his heroes. More units are streaming into the base of Dartnox. Dartnox seems to be in a kind of a trouble right now. He doesn't really have many units left. Apoy has lost majority of his horses as well. And Bachi seems to have no units here. 2 Hersers are in for Bachi, but these are gonna get sniped down as well. And it seems like EVS has succeeded. In spite of early struggle, they did succeed in deleting one of the players with their Ares strat. I think Urbo did a great job with spamming units. He kind of managed to repop almost immediately after every lost fight. Einherji does boost allies as well. Yes, Urosh, that's one of the great things that Einherji gives in the team game. More villagers are gonna go down for Dartnox. Dartnox losing villagers left and right now. These Naginata riders are menacingly chasing, but Apoy is doing a good job keeping those villagers alive with a couple of Mikos. And Urbot has to retreat right now. Couple of units are gonna get picked up by Ironhide, but EVS has to be happy with how much damage they did to Dartnox here. My god, did you guys see how hard the Cyclops hit that Autobot? Look at this. Boom. 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 This is actually insane. Alright, so what's the next step for DoD now? DoD kinda has to buy some time in order for Dartnox to re-establish himself. I wonder how many villagers Dartnox has. 24. That is not the least amount. I had seen the worst cases. So Dartnox is not completely out of the game, but he doesn't really have any units, only 10 military units for the time being. And if EVS continues with the spammage of units, they could very well clean Apoy's base as well. Apoy, for the time being, does have only Naginata riders in his army, so these could get deleted if EVS makes counter units, which I think Ironhide is doing. More Cyclops are in the mix, and These Einherjar plus Cyclops are actually incredibly good. Bachi does have few Hersers here, but these Hersers are gonna be sent packing. Bachi did go... No, Bachi has more Naginata Riders. He is not switching away from this unit. He thinks this unit is the answer, and he is gonna continue spam them. Dartnox for the time being making few Murmillos plus Catapultis. Seems like Apo is struggling. He does have heavy and all his upgrades, and Urbot is still on medium and he doesn't have any armory upgrades for the time being. So he is losing those skirmishes versus Apo's cavalry. But Apo is overrun by the sheer numbers of EVS units and he has to retreat. But now Bachi does join the fight. Although Bachi also doesn't have many units. His economy is good, and I believe he went on the outer ring of the map to get some resources. He is also trying to raid, if I'm not mistaken, on this position with some raiding cav. Couple of picks onto their Super Sergeant villagers here wouldn't go astray. Another swampland by Apo. This is the third swampland we have seen in this game, and EVS once again is forced to retreat. There is a Kusanagi on the backline. Slightly mispositioned, but still did a decent damage. Seems like Apo is able to hold this push from the EVS team with the help of Bachi. However, Dartnox did also manage to jump up to a decent number of units. Currently he is at 52. He doesn't really have a TC or villager production, so he is sitting comfortably at 26 villagers for the time being. I do believe that EVS should maybe transition to Bachi here, try and kill him. Apo does have so many buildings in his main base. Dartnox has a VC, does he? He doesn't seem to be queuing any villagers for the time being. He does have a couple of here. Oh my god, this could be huge. Great trade by Urbot, no reaction from Dartnox. He's losing villagers here. He's gonna lose more villagers, and this is really gonna hurt his economy. He's already at 26 villagers. Losing 2 more is not a good thing. Oh my god, Urbot with the nasty raid. He's not looking, he's missing most of the Apo's villagers, but now he managed to catch most of them. And this is a great catch by Urbot. While that's happening, there is a great fight in the middle of the map. Dartnox joined the fight as well. This seems like... the fight seems kinda equal, but DoD has numbers advantage for the time being as they're pushing into the main base of Urbot slowly but surely. There is one Cyclop with the micro. Oh my god, look at the damage from the throat. That's actually disgusting. But this Cyclop is not gonna do much here. He has to retreat, and it seems like DoD has broken through EVS's first line of defense. Ironhide does have plenty of buildings here, so DoD is not gonna have an easy time killing those. There is another big raid from Urbot on this position. Plenty of villagers of Bachi are going down. And it seems like EVS has managed to get an incredible advantage in villagers. They have so many more villagers. If they can hold the initial push here, they are in a great spot. But the question is, are they gonna be able to hold? They are behind 3k military value, and DoD is looking for a killing blow. The question is, are they gonna be able to resist here? I'm kind of surprised DoD didn't try and check for the back, sneaky back hunt or anything of sort. They do have many cav units, Apoy majorly. Ironhide did lose a big fight, so he's kind of struggling to repop now. But he should be fine. He does have a decent economy. Another great fight here is happening. Urbot has numbers advantage over Apoi's cavalry and seems like he's gonna be able to clean those up. Throwing X-Men on throwing X-Men violence here, but Cyclops are coming in and Bachi has to retreat. Those Cyclops are gonna hit like a truck. If they manage to catch... Oh, there is a catch. Is he gonna be able to micro this one? No, Bachi does manage to sneak away from that. It seems like EVS has pushed back again and they are gonna be looking for some damage themselves now. With how much advantage they got villager, economically speaking, they should be in a great spot now if they can equalize on the army value. But they are still way behind. 4k, 3k army value more for the DoD for now. Urbot also good shout out to Rush Urbot hitting the gold mine of Dartnox. Dartnox currently... Oh, he did manage to sneak a village center somewhere. He has one in the base of Apoi. So he did manage to climb his villager numbers to 36 for the time being. Another big fight here. There is plenty of bullshit to deal with those pesky Cyclops. Dartnox kinda engaging without Apoi. He needs Apoi's help. Apoi did go through Fujin again. Really? Is that actually the real thing? But good teamwork by DoD. They managed to triple their super Saiyajin here and they are going to be rushing into his base. There is a Zom, but only Zom towers are not yet researched. Medium range soldiers just coming in. Okay. That's not the best, but it's okay, I guess. Seems like EVS did manage to pick up the pace, militarily speaking, so now they can actually take a fight. Ironhide is forcing a fight versus Dartnox and Urbot is trying to jump in to help him. Seems like majority of Dartnox's army has been taken care of. Now the big raid coming onto the gold mine of Apoi and the smiting gust had to be used. On the other side, oh my god, these Toxotis are actually doing the work. Look at that. The ballistic in classical is doing the work. And Bachi is forced to retreat once again. But it seems like Bachi did manage to snipe majority of Cyclops, so he has to feel good about that. There is a Valkyrie though healing on this position from Ironhide. Ironhide doing a good job here. Now Apoi is gonna try and search for some raids, and this could be really, really deadly. Ironhide does have plenty of villagers in the back. Another good big fight happening just outside of the base of Bachi. Does their super have favor for another? No, he does not. Pestilence cannot be used here. Unfortunately, that would be a great addition to this push. And now EVS has decided to regroup and try to think of a strategy once again. Apoi does have a castle on this position, so this gold mine should be kinda secured. The problem is the Dartnox is still way behind. It's like notoriously known that Atlanteans have kinda higher core, and Dartnox's Chronos only having 15k is not the best. Horse archers starting to come through for Apoi, but plenty of Naginata riders in to deal with those. Dartnox did decide to take a VC instead of a TC, as he feels like he has no chance to really take a TC. He could maybe recapture his old one here. I assume he's gonna be looking for that. He is waiting for that resources and they just came in now. But he's still being AFK. Just now he's clicked the TC and TC is gonna go up. Does EVS know about that? I wanna ask that question. They do not know about the Dartnox shenanigans in his main base. They are focused on pushing this position here. They're gonna try and do so. There is a villager. There isn't a... What? It looked like their super tried to grab a TC, but no. He decided against it, and he's gonna be probably taking a TC on the outer ring of this map. While that's happening, there is a big push into the base of Bachi. Bachi doesn't really feel like he can take this fight. There is a tower from Bachi in his main base to help him hold. Dartnox swinging onto the backside of the army of EVS, trying to encircle them. Good reaction from, oh my god, Urbot with a smiting gust of his own. Completely blowing the Dartnox army away. Dartnox running in to try and come back. I honestly have no clue who's gonna win here. Luxotis are doing work, I know that match. They are sniping literally every single Herzer here. But Herzers are doing a good job sniping the units, even though they're all kinda low HP. Throwing X-Men should go down. Flaming weapons is casted by Ironhide. Where is Ironhide fighting? Hello? Ironhide is trying to break through to this position, but he kind of fails to do so, and now he has 30 more seconds of flaming weapons without any units. His army has been completely cleaned, and it does seem like EVS is losing the fuel. They cannot keep up the pressure, it seems like, but there is always a possibility that they will correct me. There is plenty of the Yumi Horse Archers though for Apoy, and these Yumi Horse Archers hit like a truck. There is a curse from their Super Saiyajin, but that curse is not gonna do much. These Yumi Horse Archers are nimbling away, back and forth, shooting and scooting. Actually, it seems like EVS is still holding. Is this a champion? Apoy just got champion Yumi Horse Archers. Apoy just got champion Yumi Horse Archers, and these are gonna be incredibly hard to deal with for EVS. Although their Super Saiyajin did age up through Aphrodite, so he does have access to Peltas, which he is building right now. So these might be the great answer to these Yumi Horse Archers. Great trades from Apoy on this position. Ironhide had to convert some villagers to Berserker in order to chase those Naginata Riders away. Do you know if Hades gets ballistics for free in Classical with the new patch? Yes, Alex, that is 100% true. Hades does get ballistics for free in Classical Age. Thanks for the follow of Springer, by the way, appreciate it, man. Their Super Saiyajin is slowly starting to get critical mass of Peltas though, and that is gonna be a problem because Bachi has majority throwing X-Men and Godis. Apoy has majority of Yumi Horse Archers, and Peltas do great into both of them. We do see a deconstruction. Where? On what? Probably on this. There is a deconstruction on the fortress, but that's not gonna matter too much. There is a town center. Zom has been casted, and these Berserkers have to go back where they came from. Big push coming up onto the base of Ironhide, but the one thing that DoD is missing kinda is siege. Apoy has one siege out, but the Ironhide kinda has so many buildings so that I don't really think one siege is gonna do the job. On the other side, we do see EVS gearing for another push into Bachi. Horse Archers are in. Their Super Saiyajin not paying attention. His Peltas not really fighting. Now they start to fighting, and Horse Archers of Apoy have to go back. Seems like Apoy kinda overdid the Horse Archers. So now his whole army is countered by 15-20 Peltas, and that's not gonna be the best thing for him. Bachi in this position trying to break through walls, but there is nothing really here for him. The gold mine has been mined out. He's trying to lock Super Saiyajin out of the outer ring of the map, but Super Saiyajin does have second TC there. Maybe Bachi is gonna try some sneaky push on the second TC here, but their super kind of can just make heroes from here and be good. So many fortresses and sentinels and everything. That's literally so hard to break through this position. Ironheart is now trying to break through Darknox once again, but Apoy is in to help. It seems like it was the right decision. Ironheart would be able to break through Darknox's forces if Apoy didn't show up, but that opens up a space for Apoy to be pushed here, which is not really happening. Bachi has built his base in a perfect defensive way, so it's really hard to push here. There is a hill fort here, plenty of buildings. There was a couple of towers as well which got destroyed, unfortunately for him. Yes, exactly, Automaton. I kind of agree with that. EVS stopped joining the armies, they stopped pushing together, and they can't really find a significant damage. Now Apoy and Darknox are pushing menacingly into the base of Ironhide. Ironhide lost his entire army, and he's gonna need immediate help. He has to idle his entire food economy here. Food economy also has to be idle. Naginata Riders pushing onto this position. Apoy is all over him for the time being. Urbot coming in to help defend, but he doesn't really have many units himself. No heroes for the time being as well. Their Super Saiyan is kind of forced to come and help. But Urbot seems like he lost entirety of his forces as well. And now Apoy is going to search for some damage in the back of Urbot's base. This is going to be absolutely devastating. We do see a tornado coming here for Urbot. Not the biggest damage, if I may say. I remember that Typhoon got power a lot more menacingly than this. This kind of looked like a tickle kind of thingy. I would say it's a waste as well. So now it seems like DoD has taken over this game. They are kind of slow pushing into Ironhide's buildings over here. Apoy has one siege still. Apoy refusing to make any more siege for some reason. He does have 2 in the queue, which is good, and DSS has taken a 3rd TC. He is gonna try and carry this game by himself. He does have a really significant force here, but I do think he also needs kind of siege here in order to be able to compete. And he is on a big timer too, because his teammates are currently getting pushed hard, and that's gonna be extremely hard for him to overtake the advance of Apoy and Darknox. There is a flaming weapons that has been casted for Bachi, and the DSS is forced to retreat. Not the best of flaming weapons, I guess. Maybe it is actually. Bachi did manage to clear a lot of units of DSS with these flaming weapons. Revenant Shinigami. This unit looks kind of cool. And it seems like DSS has lost majority of his army. He is fast to repop though. He does have a very strong economy, but it... Okay, it does seem like Urbot and Ironhide has managed to stabilize for a bit. Urbot does have a really great score, if I may say. Yo, Dioses. How are you, man? Hello, Craig. Welcome, welcome. Seems like EVS, to my surprise, has managed to stabilize and is able to push back initial push from the DoD. I'm not really sure what happened, but yes, they did manage to push back DoD. But the problem that EVS is going to be facing now is Bachi is going to be pushing into the base of DSS here, although he has to retreat, kinda. There is a chaos somewhere, I'm assuming on few units because it lasts for so long, but I can't really find it. Okay, the chaos was out here. Great attempt from Ironhide to deny this position. He's gonna be able to do so. This castle by Apo is gonna go down, but there is a really big... Oh my god. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how you use Dragon Typhoon. Absolute devastation. But DSS has plenty of units, although they are low HP, they are not dead. So one restoration, but no restoration. Unfortunately, no restoration. There is only Pestilence. There is a bit of parade here in this position. DSS is gonna fight that one with his villagers, but there is plenty of military buildings from Bachi. Bachi also taking this TC. He is gonna be putting some pressure onto DSS in this position. And he does have a couple of battle boards ready to go. Another big fight here in this position. Urbot now has champion Yumi Horse Archers as well. So Apoe is not gonna find a lot of value with his own Yumi Horse Archers. Does he have any unique upgrades? Yes, he does. And now Urbot is pushing into base of Apoe. Apoe didn't really use Typhoon to help himself. He instead decided to use it in a base of DSS, so that gave opportunity to Urbot to push in the main base of Apoe. Apoe at the moment doesn't really have many units. He lost... What the fuck? Miko situation for both Susanos. Apoe currently on 4 and the other Susano, the Tsukuyomi, is on 0. There is another flaming weapons for Mr. Bachi here, and even though he doesn't really have many units, he is gonna be able to push their Super Saiyan back. But the problem is, Apoe is currently without a single unit. He is really struggling to get units out, only 3 for the time being, and Dartnox is also struggling to repopulate. Seems like Urbot has managed to break through both Apoe and Dartnox. He is also raiding in the back. This gold mine is gonna get pushed hard. There is a possibility Dartnox is gonna lose a lot of villagers. He's been pushed on this side as well by Mr. Ironhide. Ironhide also sending more units here. Dartnox trying to grab this DC, losing plenty of villagers. Dartnox currently losing villagers left, right and center. Another swampland by Apoe has been used here. Urbot is just gonna retreat. There is a Kusanagi that's gonna flick some units into the air, but no problem. Urbot is just gonna retreat, regroup, and resume his push. He is currently doing great job raiding on the side. Dartnox lost plenty of villagers, but he does have plenty of town centers, so he is able to repopulate quite fast here. Urbot actually doing a great job in this game too. He is making sure his team is still in the game. He did give Ironhide enough time to actually get back into this game too, which is really what Ironhide needed. He is currently spamming Berserkers. Or not, he's not really spamming anything. He doesn't really have any gold mines, any gold actually in the bank to do so. He's trying to mine this gold mine, and he is currently fighting hard on this position, trying to disrupt the economy of DoD team, which I think is doing quite good, if you ask me. Dartnox has 2 villagers garnisoned here and plenty of empty farms here. Castle bottom right. Where is the castle at the bottom right? There is a Petropolo sniping Bachi's TC, but I don't see castle here for anyone. Bachi did... Oh my god, Bachi with the side build, sneaky side build. He's gonna be trying to push onto the Urbot's gold mine here. And Urbot kinda needs to go back to deal with this. But it seems like... Oh my god, look at the military of Urbot. He is currently gigantic, absolutely gigantic. He decides to swing on this side to help Ironhide fight. Where is Urbot's army? Seems like EVS does have military advantage. Urbot is swinging his entire army onto the back side of the map of DoD. Bottom right, bro. I have looked here, I saw the nasty side build by Bachi. Bachi is being AFK right now. He has to deal with this position as well. There is another Dragon Typhoon on this position. Bachi is losing his PC on this position. He is having troubles actually establishing himself on this position. DSS actually made a perfect timing attack on this side while Bachi was... Oh my god, there is an Artemis Earthquake. This could be huge in this position. It could give DSS opportunity to clear everything that Bachi has built here. I believe Bachi did the conversion. He converted some of his workers so he can hold here. But Chimera is gonna go... Oh, there is no heroes and there is so many mid units for DSS. Darknox lost his main TC. Once again, he's being pressured constantly by Urbo. Urbo doing great job managing his units on every possible side. There is an Earthquake on this position. And this is gonna take the TC down. Probably the hill fort as well. Plenty of houses go down. Bachi has been left with only 65 pop. He is not gonna be able to repopulate himself. And this could be really, really painful for him. I mean, he has units here in this position, right? He is constantly raiding Darknox. He is also in the back. He's dealing with this raid as well, you know. So he is doing a great job in my opinion. Seems like DSS had managed to break through Bachi here. Apoy starts sending some troops again, but I don't think Apoy... Actually, Apoy did manage to repopulate completely. He is in a great spot. He does have a gigantic queue as well, but... The problem for DoD now is Bachi is really in trouble. Same can be said for Darknox as well, because Darknox currently have only his village center on this position. He lost this DC, he lost this DC, and it's kinda down to Apoy to hold the line for the remaining positions. Momentum has swapped multiple times indeed, and it has been a blast this game. Plenty of peltas though, and as I said earlier, it seems like Apoy did go a bit too heavy into horse archers, and these peltas have been doing a great job, but Apoy did switch to Naginata Riders, and all of a sudden these peltas are not gonna do much. But there is plenty of Cyclops, so these Cyclops are gonna be able to deal with these Naginata Riders. Great throw by their Super Saiyan. He also took a healing spring on this position. That is gonna be a great help for him. I would love to see some villagers coming forward to make some bases, fortresses, and all that good stuff. All the Naginata Riders have been cleared, and the game is lagging again for some reason. There is a big fight in the main base of Apoy as we speak. Seems like DoD has been pushed on all sides. I'm assuming game is about to end because there is like a weird stuff going on. Bachi has been cleared on this position as well. Bachi losing every single TC he had. He's trying to get this one up, but he is in a world of pain right now. He does have a very healthy economy though. 79 villagers, not the worst. He does have plenty of them here in this position. 39 villagers, but their Super Saiyan doesn't really care about that. He's gonna be trying to swing onto the base of Apoy. That's the only healthy base that DoD has right now. Apoy did manage to push back Urbot, but Urbot is gonna be pushing in hard once again. He does have plenty of Naginata Riders to deal with those Yumi Horse Archers. And ladies and gentlemen, it seems like we are gonna be going into the game 5 here. What does Kronos even do if he doesn't rush? Well, I think idea from Darknox was to go Lito, spam bunch of automatons and then try to fight in classical, maybe like try to sneak some heroic for the chaos if plenty of counter units are fielded. But the problem that he faced was he was against Loki, right? And Loki, what's the favorite unit for Loki? The favorite unit for Loki is Hersier. So frontline Hersiers kind of melted his automatons, and that kind of spelled his demise early into this game, and then he never had a chance to actually come back. At one point though, he did seem kind of alright, but that all crumbled shortly after. So it was really unfortunate. And I think Gaia was banned, so he couldn't really pick Gaia. I think Uranus would be a way better pick if you ask me. But Darknox did decide to go for something else, and probably he thought that is the best course of action. We are just watching a boy trying to hold these merciless attacks from EVS from all sides. And to be honest, he is doing quite a good job, but his teammates are kind of out of the game. Bachi is doing some side builds here and there. He's trying to disrupt the flow of this game, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do so. He cannot really repopulate. He doesn't have enough production buildings. He only has 2 for the time being, and plenty of berserkers in both, but Apoy kind of needs help now, and Darknox units are nowhere to be seen. Darknox currently 0 military unit. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe this is a GG. I truly believe this is a GG. DoD is still trying to defend, but Ironhide with the sneaky push on the back TC of Apoy. Apoy is going to be losing this, as well as all these farms. And I strongly believe this is a GG. Yep, GG, well played. EVS take the game 4, and we are going to be going into the game 5 here. Alright guys, we do not care about the sides or anything else on this map, and we are in the final, the 5th game of the series. Who is gonna reign victorious in this best of 5 series between DoD and EVS? Stay tuned to find out. Okay, so as for the players, we have Mr. Bachi playing as Poseidon. We already see how powerful Bachi's Poseidon is, and he seems really comfortable playing 1TC. So I think this is a really decent pick. Poseidon also excels in 1TC play very much, so it's good. To his right side, we have their Super Saiyajin. For the EVS, he's going to be playing Zeus. Zeus also can be really menacing on this map with the hoplite spam and all that shenanigans. He also has Underworld, which can be especially useful on this map to kind of like switch the focus and stuff like that. Bottom side of their Super Saiyajin, we have Narcotic, who's going to be playing Uranus. Uranus, of course, also great pick here. He does have access to sky passages and all that, so that's absolutely great. He also has PD Murmillos to contest Zeus hoplites and Hippicons, which is a great answer to both, as well as Catapeltis, right? To the left of Narcotic, we have Ine B. Ine B is a smurf of Benny VR because Benny had some problems with the main account. He picked Gaia, and while Gaia is a bit slower in a way that she doesn't have access to fast Murmillos as Uranus does, Gaia is a great pick here, simply because she is a great 1TC god. She can have access to the economic upgrades age earlier, and she does have Lush that she can spread all around the map to boost speed of her units. To the top of Benny, we have Apoy, who's going to be playing Susano. Susano here can really struggle, especially if you go in Ario Kami. That can be really extremely dangerous. You're gonna be kind of slower on the production and you are not gonna have much defenses, and if you're doubled from both sides it can be absolutely disastrous. Top of the Apoy we have Isomarto, who's gonna be playing Amaterasu. Now Amaterasu here, even though she also has a slower start, I would bet my life that Aizo here is gonna go through Inari, through Minakatatomi. And Minakatatomi, what? Hello, Isomarto? Okay, scrap that. I'm not betting anything. Isomarto just made a crazy decision. He's gonna go Ameno Uzume for visuals and crazy good samurais. So basically my thought process here was Shrine of the Hunt on the Goldman provides great defense. You also have access to great archers and spearmen, and you can contest in Ario Kami from Susano and also Poseidon's Hippicons with your spears. But Isomarto decided to go for Ameno Uzume, which does give him access to really good samurais and Kamaitachi, the weasel, but he doesn't really have any defenses early on, which Apoy is gonna abuse now with a couple of Kitsunes. Those Mikos are in place though, and these Kitsunes are gonna be sent packing. Kamaitachi is in, Goshin Boku tree is also in, and Kamaitachi is gonna go straight to the base of Bachi. Bachi here opening with double stable, that kind of makes sense. Center is also already in, but there isn't Bolt, and there is Jason in as well, John Thomas, and it seems like their super is gonna be completely fine. Benny, what is Benny doing? Benny went through Oceanus as well as Narcotics, so they are gonna be having a bit of a Murmillo on Murmillo violence. Apoy opening with the stable, that's kind of expected when you go through in Ario Kami, but I don't really think that's the best choice. But let's see how Apoy plays it. Apoy already has a couple of Kitsune bothering Isomarto here, but Isomarto is a seasoned player. He has played countless games and he does know how to deal with this. He's also giving some problems here. The Kamaitachi is in, a couple of villagers are idle. There is a fat fuck Hercules in to kind of give problems here, but their super not really controlling him. Now he starts controlling, but he's kind of dead, so not the greatest of values from their super. He does manage to snipe. Alright, this is a bit weird, but okay. We do see here in this position their Super Saiyan is getting pressured by Narcotic. Narcotic trying to get Super Saiyan off of this Goldman. He does have Golden Lions, so these are going to be great addition to his army. Caladria is also in, and their super is forced off of his Goldman right now. What he can do here, he can research towers and be completely fine, but he's not gonna do that just yet. One villager unfortunately is stuck in the wood here, and he has to chop the wood line in order to make him free. That's kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. But she is going to be joining onto the pressure on their Super Saiyan, and their super is really in a bad position right now, simply because he is forced off of his Goldman. He's refusing to research towers, even though towers will be good here, especially since the towers were buffed in the previous patch, and if you make a couple of units and try to garrison shoot and scooch from the tower, you actually can do great damage to your opponent. Narcotic forcing a fight under TC with those Murmillos, never a good option. He does have Caladria to heal up a bit, but you don't want to take free damage. Nevertheless, even if you have Caladria, taking a free damage on Murmillos is never good. Bachi also trying to snipe some villagers. He's gonna lose the center. Unfortunate mistake from Bachi. Losing a center never feels good. He's trying to snipe these towers, but he's gonna lose a Hippicon for it. And this DC did great damage to Bachi here. Bachi kind of fighting the Kamaitachi in his main base as well. All of his villagers are idled as of now, and this Kamaitachi is doing great work. Isomarto walled his entire base. He knows what's gonna come his way. He's making some Yari Spearmen, Samurais. He's gonna be able to deal with these units, no problems here. But the question is, how is their super gonna stabilize after this? There is plenty of Hippicons, but there are some Hoplites here. So that's why I'm saying towers. Just research towers, man. And these Hippicons have to go packing. They cannot contest you when you have towers. Make wall chips around your towers and you're perfectly fine. There is plenty of Murmillos from our Benny VR here, our main Benny VR, and the narcotic has been sent packing. I would actually prefer for Benny to put on pressure on the narcotic, because narcotic's base is kind of open, like on every single position. Narcotic doesn't really make any walls when he's playing as Atlantean. That's kind of a bad habit of his, because Atlanteans, especially Oranos, have access to sky passages, and then you don't really have to make any walls per se. They are good, but you don't really have to make them, because you can always garrison in the sky passage and be completely fine. Now we do see a couple of one Cairo Ballista. Actually, there is a counter barrack for Mr. Narcotic, and he is going to be trying to look for some fight here, but couple of Toxotis are in, and these are going to be a great addition for this army. Now Benny and their Super Saiyan are gonna try and pressure onto Narcotic. Narcotic has to retreat. Cairo Ballista ends up dying. Kind of late shockwave here. One Murmillo might end up dying. Slow reaction from Benny here. He did have 4 Caladrias. There is a restoration from Zeus player, and Narcotic is forced to kind of run all the way out of his base. Now his villagers are up to attack here. Good micro by Narcotics, managing to save all these villagers with a little garrison micro, but these villagers are under pressure, and it seems like Narcotic is really having trouble. Ceasefire is forced by Bachi, and Bachi is going to be heading to the base of Narcotic to help him with a few Hippicons of his own. Now we do see walls coming in for Apoy. Apoy and Isomarto. Isomarto kind of made his base absolutely unenterable. There is literally just this position to enter, and he doesn't really care. Atalanta has ended up being stuck here, and he's gonna get sniped. Now Isomarto here, if he gets to a dead ball, he is opting to go heroic, slightly mismicroing here. But if he does get heroic, he's gonna have access to Raijos, Thunderburst, and it's gonna be a really dangerous and problematic for Apoy to hold. Apoy swinged on this position though to help his teammates fight, but these Naginata Riders are not gonna do all that good versus Murmillos. Swampland has been casted, and even though Benny is gonna be losing a few... Oh, actually this Kusanagi was very well casted, and Benny is losing so many units on the retreat. But if he manages to save those low HP units, they are going to heal up on the Lush here. He is producing more Murmillos, so he is going to be able to deal with this army once he is on the Lush. He also can grab towers if needed. I don't know why our players are so hesitant to grab towers. Towers have been buffed. You should definitely take those. It's really good. Now we do see a couple of Hippicons causing some chaos here. Bachi trying to draw attention to him. He kind of secured his gold mine, but he's going to be having to move out on the next gold mine, and that's where things can get kind of ugly. He doesn't really have many units. Actually, he does have absolutely tons of units. I stand corrected here, my bad. But I don't really know. Okay, he mainly has Hippicons, but as I was saying, Hippicons are not that great in like straight up fighting, especially against Hoplites or Yari Spearmen that Iso had. But Iso is kind of playing a slow game here. He is not really overcommitting to anything. He's not really pushing. He does have Raijin right now. He is having those Raijus, but Apoy has walled everything. There is a gap here, unfortunately for Apoy, so ISO is gonna be able to enter his base and cause some problems there. Great catch by Bachi. Bachi managed to catch so many villagers. This could be absolutely disastrous for their Super Saiyan. He is coming in with his hoplites, but majority of those villagers are gonna go down. This is great, absolutely great damage from Bachi to their super, and this has to hurt. I don't know what their super has been thinking. He is against Poseidon and Uranus. There is no world in which you leave your villagers unattended. Couple of centers coming in. They have been kind of changed. Only 10 rage. Doesn't look too bad though. They did a really decent damage to those hoplites. So maybe this nerf wasn't all that bad. Isomarto is pushing though onto this position. He is able to kind of idle a couple of villagers from Mr. Apoy. Solar Shield coming in. How many Mikos? There is 3 Mikos for him. For Iso, 3 Mikos for... Oh my god. There is a raid here with the Raiju. 1 villager is gonna go down. This wall is not gonna get finished. Kamaitachi does get dealt with. This hole was patched too. But Isomarto is currently chilling. He is having his castle, he's mining Goldmine, kind of securing that. He has Castle on the Hunt, while DSS on this position is really struggling. The problem with this is Iso kind of have to do something because he is untouched player in this game. And if he doesn't really do anything, his teammates are gonna suffer. And while I do think Benny is kind of okay, DSS has suffered some great damage. So if nothing is done, he is gonna die eventually. Both Bachi and Narcotic are above him. They have stronger economy, they have more units, and if they decide to actually attack him, that could be a really big problem. Benny is menacingly roaming around the main base of Narcotic though, so Narcotic is kind of hesitant to do anything with his units. He does have plenty of Cairo Ballista, but these are really slow and these are not the best to go out in the open. So he's gonna try and stay in base with those guys 100%. Bachi now trying to swing onto Isomarto and do some damage. Iso doesn't really have army in place, but he does have castle and no villagers here. Castle does spot some hippicons and these are going to be trying to circle around, but Iso should be aware of the situation and he's pulling back. Now Iso does have a couple of Oyomis to give some siege power, pushing power, and it seems like Iso has been doubled. Now he's gonna be losing villagers here absolutely crazy fast. There is a Underworld though from their Super Saiyan. He's gonna be trying to help Isomarto here, but using a Thunderburst on Hippicons is never good. Why? Simply because Hippicons can just always run out and be absolutely fine. Slight blunder from Bachi here. He did run into it once again. But it seems like this fight kind of went evenly. Isomarto going into those Shinobis. Shinobis were also buffed. So these should be a great answer to those Yomi Horse Archers. Smiting Gas has been used and all these units are going to end up in the base of Apoy. And Apoy with the towers should be able to deal with those. On this position, Benny is trying to push into the base of Narcotic. Seems like the fight is going kinda evenish. Chaos just came in and Narcotic is gonna be taking advantage here and pushing Benny back. Benny forced to go back. He lost all his army. He can be in a bit of a trouble here, but Narcotic didn't win the fight as decisively, so it's kinda okay. Seems like those fucking units of Isomarto are doing absolute work in the main base of Apoy, and it seems like that Gust wasn't the best thing that Apoy did. So Shinobis actually look really legit now, solid. But while Aizo is pushing onto the main base of Apoy, Bachi here is trying to push into the main base of Aizo. Aizo does have one Raiju, but there is 4 centers and Atalanta and Deities, which are going to be great answer, although their super is in with his unit, so he should be able to fight those Hippicons, although Bachi does have bronze, and there is no counter to that bronze for the time being. No Thunderburst, no nothing, so great move by Bachi. Bachi managed to snipe the Underworld with a couple of Hippicons, and now army of their Super Saiyan is stuck on the top side, and his base is kind of open for attack. I'm sure Bachi is gonna try and use that to his advantage. He did take a second town center, feeling comfortable here, putting down walls absolutely everywhere. There's also a couple of Hippicons in this position trying to put some pressure, but nothing is there. There is a fortress though, and now Bachi kind of menacingly going around Izomarto's base. Izomarto doesn't really have many units, only 35 units, 33 villagers. Izomarto has taken significant damage here. He is not going to be happy how this all went. Seems like Bachi has done an amazing things for his team. He managed to cripple their Super Saiyan, and now he also crippled Izomarto. And that gave opportunity to Mr. Apoy to push onto this position. Izomarto losing more villagers. He lost all the units. Maybe, not really. He does have a couple of units somewhere. Their Super Saiyan managed to hold here. I would love to see Bachi building even more centers. Centers are absolutely amazing. Can someone point me where does Aizo have his units? I don't see any, and it says he... Okay, maybe this little force here is the unit he has, but these are like how many? 4? 4 pop, so these count as 4 pop. That's really big. There's Super Saiyan here trying to force some fight, but Narcotic has a significantly bigger army, and if he chooses so, he can overrun this army, but he wants to retreat. He doesn't want to engage in any unnecessary combat, but I do think it would be a right decision to just stomp this army. Their super did manage to defend Izomarto, but now his main base is in a lots of pain. He's gonna be pushed with all the Hippicons bronze as well, and Hippicons are currently running a walk on in the base of their Super Saiyan. All his troops are stuck on the top side. Aizo is being raided on all the fucking sides. It looks really grim for EVS. Their super is losing villagers left and right and center. He's losing units as well. Bronze is still on the table for Bachi. He's refusing to use it. He thinks there is absolutely no need to use bronze here. Towers finally coming in for Mr. the Super Saiyan, and he is gonna be able to deal with those Hippicons. If he took towers earlier, as I suggested, I think he would be perfectly fine. Like, early damage that he took would be non-existent. Great defense by their super though. He did absolutely amazing defending all this. He did take some damage, but that is kind of okay. Bachi now tech switching into a pacifist. He is bringing his centers, Hydra, and he is going to be using bronze, I assume, here. Now Bachi here does have absolutely amazing economy on 2 TCs, while their super is almost double the villagers less. So it's gonna be really hard. Bachi can just outproduce. Bronze on the table too just gets casted, and this base is really in a tough position right now. Probably all these units are gonna get picked, the villagers as well, and their Super Saiyan needs some help ASAP. The problem though is he cannot get really any help because Benny here is trying to deal. Actually, their super did a great job here. He managed to go away through the wall and kind of like juke around this bronze, but he is trying to engage into it now. Bronze is gonna expire, and now the Hippicons are basic Hippicons again. Does Bachi have Trajan horses? He does have Trajan horses. So these Hippicons should hit like a truck. There is a traitor on the Hydra by Benny. Carnivora has been casted as well, and Bachi has been sent packing here. Great defense by their Super Saiyan actually. But Bachi is relentless with his Hippicon raids. He has managed to find some damage here. As I said earlier, their Super has been really relaxed with his villagers in this game, and he is against Poseidon. Poseidon is always gonna find your villagers, no matter how good you hide them. There is full hero army of Murmillos that looks absolutely menacing here, but they are all chilling for now. Gaia army is also menacingly here, looking at the front base of Narcotic. He does have plenty of thermas, so these Murmillos will get melted if they engage into a direct combat. Apoy here just grabbing his TC. He's kind of chilling. A bit of a wood situation here, but he can always make farms and enjoy his life. He's trying to push onto Isomarto. Isomarto trying his best, even though his economy was crippled earlier. He is doing a good job holding Apoy back. Apoy didn't manage to push him off of this gold mine. There is a castle here too. So Iso is, after all is said and done, not in a that bad of a situation. There is a couple of military buildings from Bachi in this position. He's trying to push onto the main town center of their Super Saiyan. Once again, Super Saiyan, instead of defending, chooses to go. Actually, no, he's choosing to go for this. I think this could be a great catch, though, if he actually manages to kind of sneak that one up. Another watchtower. Excuse me. Another watchtower coming in the main base of Mr. their Super Saiyan. I told you guys, these are actually hitting like a truck, especially if you use them to put your units inside of the tower. There is a chaos in this position. Oh my god. There's so many heroes for Narcotic. These guys just do not fucking care. And even though they're fighting under one palace, soon to be second palace on the Lush, they're absolutely decimating the front line here. But seems like Benny did manage to push them back for a bit. He does need to repopulate here. He's having issues pop-wise. He does not. He needs more military. Benny actually put a fucking proxy base in face of Narcotic, which is really funny. And they are going to be trading back and forth for quite some time here. There's no siege on both sides, so it's going to be extremely hard to push into the main base here. But units are getting sniped left and right. Great micro from Benny, trying to lure those Murmillos, but Murmillos coming onto the Cairo Ballista, never the good thing. Great Carnivore onto the Cairo here, but it seems like I think this fight ended up equally once again. I think this is gonna continue like this for quite some time. We can check the main base of Mr. their Super, and things look grim. He lost his main TC. He doesn't have a second TC. There is a couple of Petrobolos on Bachi's side. Bachi in a perfectly good spot right now. He did tech switch into Hephaestus. He does have all the upgrades. Heavy Hephaestus. He's gonna be looking to go Hephaestus. Yes, Hephaestus is just in. And that's gonna be extremely difficult for their Super to deal with. On this side though, it does look like Isomarto did manage to push into the Apoy a bit. So that's good, but Apoy does have a significant number of Onis. He's healing his units, beautiful work. He's spamming more units. That's also really good. So Apoy is not really gonna have trouble to defend his main town center. Here though, it's still a bad position. Neither player has gaining advantage. Maybe Benny is gonna manage to destroy this main TC. But hear me out here. If Narcotic goes and swings onto this position, and absolutely decimates their super. Their super is gonna be out of the game, and Narcotic can just go and take this TC and vacate his main TC. He has a sky passage, he has walls absolutely everywhere, plenty of villagers outside. He does have this TC too, so he would not suffer that much. Instead of being in a back and forth position with Benny here, you could help deal with this situation here. Even though I think Bachi is eventually gonna break through, it is taking a lot more time than it actually is needed if they coordinate an attack. Alright, so here we do see Isomarto trying to push, but Apoy with a good surround on the Isos units, but these units are standing strong. They're absolutely impenetrable. Oni is gonna get sniped by these bushes. There is a couple of Naginata riders coming in. They are gonna be able to snipe those bushes, but this fight also seems like it's kinda equal. Another restoration coming in for their Super Saiyan. He's giving his best to try and hold this position. The Polyphemus is in and the Giga Chad just dies, but he did great. And Narcotic is building towers, still trying to hold. He has plenty of heroes here. What I would love to see here from Benny, I don't even know. How do you deal with this army? Anyone in chat has suggestion? How do you deal with this army of heroes from Narcotic? Narcotic has absolutely disgustingly scary army. Bachi is going crazy. Just crazy. This is peak Bachi gameplay. I played a bunch of games versus him, and if he is in a group, he can be extremely dangerous. He has taken everything up to Isomarto's main base, and if he chooses so, he can always switch to that position. But he wants to eradicate their Super Saiyan completely from this game, and it's going great for Bachi. Bachi making more military buildings on the front lines. Is going to be taking this TC shortly, and things look even more grim than before for our main, their Super Saiyan. These are, I think, Toxotes, regular Toxotes medium hoplites, and these should be full iron, yeah. This is gonna be extremely tough. Seems like a GG kinda angle if Benny or Iso do not manage to make a great push. Benny actually going for the great push right now. He's trying to take down the TC. The TC of Narcotic, excuse me. And Isomarto also... What? Isomarto managing to break through the base of Apoy here? That's actually crazy. Apoy has incredibly strong economy. Isomarto not so much, but his units are just unkillable for Apoy. There is a ceasefire to help Apoy, and Narcotic kinda re-establish their positions, but I don't think this is gonna end before the ceasefire expires. So even though their Super Saiyan is really struggling, both Narcotic and Apoy are having tough time as well. The only difference is I think their Super Saiyan is really struggling, and Apoy and Narcotic are kinda okay-ish. Their Super Saiyan going for the double on the Narcotic, but he doesn't have any units left. He is completely out of this game, unfortunately, and now Bachi is gonna be swinging onto this position, and this is gonna this is gonna spell the end of Benny's aggression. Bachi with the incredibly strong force, 4 TCs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 TCs, is gonna be a menace. 152 pop of units. Another bronze is gonna be shortly on the menu as well. His economy is absolutely amazing. He can establish trade route all by himself, and it does look like DoD has managed to clutch the victory in this series. Although Isomarto still trying to push, he has managed to absolutely eviscerate main base of Apoy, but unfortunately for him, Isomarto and Benny and their Super Saiyan could not hold the Bachi push, and it's GG. GG, well played to both teams. This has been an amazing series. DoD did manage to take the victory 3-2, but EVS has put an incredible fight